Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, along with my two sisters, Trish Carr and Susan Winner. And we have a sisterhood in this community of Women's Prosperity Network. And just so you know, when I say sisters for Trish and Susan, they actually are my sisters, grew up together, Brooklyn, New York, same mother, same father, in a perfectly imperfect, dysfunctional family. I don't know about you if you got dysfunctional families, but that's what we had. And look how things turn out because we have people in our life like Ying Lo to support us in getting through all of the many seasons and waves to become unshakable. And Ying Lo is our guest today. She's the founder of the Unshakeable Mom Life, and I'm going to bring her on in just a moment. So glad that you're all with us today. As you may know, this broadcast is a weekly show that we've been doing here at Women's Prosperity Network since 2009, every single Wednesday morning, bringing you a midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration so that it's easy to consistently move forward, fulfilling your purpose, having the impact that you're here to make, and enjoying the income that you also desire and deserve, because impact and income can easily go together, and we love to show people how to do that. A couple of quick announcements in Women's Prosperity Network world with things we have coming up for you. One is next Tuesday, which is the third Tuesday of the month, is our monthly networking with a twist. So be sure to check out our website, womensprosperityNetwork.com. Go to the events page and join us for networking with a twist. My sister Trish leads it. And you have the opportunity to create relationships, not just, business card swaps or the chat, however that's done these days, but to create real connections and develop relationships with people. So that's on the third Tuesday of the month. And then on the fourth Saturday, we do our signature mastermind formula, which we call Brilliance, Brainstorming, and Breakthrough. So check out the website, join us in this community. If for some reason you happen to be watching this and you're not a member yet, I'm like, what's up with that? Go to Women's Prosperity Network and you can join for free. You can join for $1 and get more benefits. And we welcome all of you to join us as we all share our gifts, talents, and expertise to lend to making the world a more happy, positive, and productive place. And that's exactly what our guest Ying Lo does. So Ying, I am so grateful that you're with us today. Thank you for making the time to be here.
Thank you, Nancy. Hi, Nancy, and hi to everyone. So thank you for having me here today. I am still speechless for being here, and it's been so wonderful. So thank you. Thank you.
But my absolute pleasure. And I love the conversation that we're going to have today about 3 strategies for high achieving moms/women that we can use to end burnout without feeling like we have to run away from everything. And like, how do we get it all back? I just have to leave everything. Well, we don't really want to leave everything, right? We want to be able to live our lives in harmony. So I'm excited for today's conversation. And I know that you have firsthand experience with everything that you'll be sharing with us today. So let me tell our audience a little bit about you. Ying Lo is the Unshakable Mom. She's a leader, a business owner, a wife, and a mother of, let me see if I have enough fingers. Yeah, 8. 8 children. And her life and work are grounded in one central theme, and that is that the most important thing in life is family. Transform your family agreements, and you can improve every area of your life. Ying earned a master's in financial management and information technology and is a candidate for her PhD in integrative natural medicine. She had 20 plus years of experience in business, has served as the treasurer to the president of the family organization, and was also the head of sisterhood for 100 plus families in her community. As a single mom at a young age, Ying learned firsthand how to juggle the many demands required to be successful, honing the energy in the body to achieve extraordinary results, and understanding the large family dynamic expectations. She now works with high achieving mothers to break free from the overwhelm and burnout that comes with modern living, so that they can achieve the success that they enjoy. So, welcome, Yang.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's, wow.
Oh, wow, that's Wow Wednesday. That's cool.
Of course.
All right, so I'm going to just dive right in with the question that's probably on most people's minds. 8 children, 20 years as a business owner, master's, PhD candidate, leader in these, like, how the heck do you do it all and still have a smile on your face? I mean, let's get real.
What a great question. Because that is the one question that I get from moms, like everywhere I go. Like, it's like, okay, so you made it seem so easy. You got 8 kids, a business, and a husband, a farm, and a business, and all these things, and you made it so easy. I'm jealous. How do you do it? And you know what? The first thing that comes to mind is like, are you for real? Because it wasn't that easy for me, even though I had doing all of these, it wasn't easy. I mean, that's kind of how I got to do the work I do today, because I was falling apart and it wasn't easy. And even though my life may seem so easy for many moms, but the over self-sacrifice experience for me was so painful for a long time. And I was really drowning in the serving and pleasing people. And I used to go to bed like thinking, like, is this what life is about? The long hours of work and the long hours of taking care of others to the point I fall asleep, and it's not enough. And sometimes, like, I would wake up feeling exhausted and drained and depleted, and other times it feels like worse than when I went to bed, because there's so many things that I have to do. And it got so bad to the point where I got really, really sick with uterus fibroids. And I would bleed for months at a time, and I lost so much weight. And at that point, like, I thought to myself, like, I either choose life or I'm going to die. And because I just had enough, like, physically, emotionally, and mentally, and there's just got to be another way. So I said to myself, like, there's no more. I have to start looking for support, because I knew I could only take myself so far, and I wasn't willing to go another day with this struggle. So I had to make a decision. And plus, I do not want my children to follow my footsteps. So I have to make a different choice. So yeah, that's kind of it.
So,
wasn't easy.
Not easy. And one of the things I know I've experienced, and I've talked with other, women and moms around this, is where actually there's something in our cultures, and you grew up in a different culture than I did. Yet, isn't it fascinating that within that there's still this societal, impression, or actually imposition upon women to be of service, to take care of others, and it's part of our nurture nature. I get that, but when it comes, like you said, to the point of there's nothing left for me, and to fathom, how would I even make time for myself when my to-do list is so long, like getting my nails done or taking a bath or going for, like, any of those things. Like, I don't have time to do that. That was the first thing that always came for me. Plus, well, let's talk about that, because there's another piece I want to get into. So you had that moment of breakdown, and you're like, no more, I've got to find a solution. How did you even have faith or hope that there could be a better way? Because I know people are in states of despair around a lot of this.
Right. Well, the hope is, when I look at my children, I'm like, I can't, especially my girls. I'm like, with being raised as an Asian girl, like expecting to be good in all these other ways, I just can't imagine my girls going through the same thing that I went through. And that was the biggest motivation for me to make a choice at that point, that said, you know what, they are my hope. And I have hope that I can live, because I only have one life. I can't not die. And because I didn't know how to take care of myself, or because I put others before me and lost it in it. And myself wanted to live on was my hope. And then also my children were my hope that, if I could stop that for the pattern for me and help my children to also stop the pattern for themselves, that I got to get up and do it and make a choice that, you know what, even though I can't, maybe my to-do list is so long that it's like over my head, but I can start by just choosing to do 3 little things a day, even though it's like a 2-minute thing. And I start doing that. And eventually, like my to-do list was just disappearing.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So point number one for everybody listening in, tip number one was golden. So wherever you're feeling right now in terms of overwhelm, overload, frustration, whether you have children, businesses, like our modern day lives is like, give me your attention, give me your attention, give me your attention, right? That's what it can feel like to me. So this first tip of one of the things that Ying did, and she often recommends for all of us, is 3 simple things. So can you give us some examples of those?
those things could be just, maybe putting your laundry in the laundry or something. That takes like a couple minutes. And it's like, maybe if you just, let it piled up, it might look so overwhelming because it keeps on piling up and then you get annoyed by seeing it piling up. But even if you just take a little bit of that and put it in the laundry, that's gonna eventually it's gonna be done. Or even eating, maybe your normal, it would be taking creating a 2 hour feast, or, fancy food and all that stuff, but maybe just doing the simple thing that you can put together where it's just easy to grab for yourself because you know that you're overwhelmed and you don't, and, just keep it simple. The most simple, as simple as you can, that would be the best thing. So you're not feeling completely overwhelmed, because you know what? Us women and moms, like, we can be so present to a lot of the things that's happening in our lives, because there are so many things, and you can get spiral in it, because
Oh yeah.
like, so every time you turn around, someone's gonna need you, and all you hear is mom, mom, or maybe your mother-in-law needs you and she calls you like 6 or 10 times in a minute. That's happened to me. So
Well, 6 or 10 times in a minute. All right, everybody dial into that, because we've had that.
And so it can get so overwhelming because we're so present to all that needs us, and we can lose ourselves in it. So it's about just really making a list and, keep it simple and start there. And yeah.
Right. So when you're looking at the stack of dishes or preparing meals or going shopping, what's one small thing to just make a dent in it, right? Like, this is what we want to take a look at, rather than thinking you have to do the whole thing all at once, which can feel like such a burden, right? Awesome tip. Awesome tip. Make a list and then do little things towards it. What are some, so let's dial into, what are the top 3 reasons, because that's what we want to share with everybody today, the top 3 reasons why they burn out, and and we're started to dive into how to break free. So give us some of these 3 things to support us in moving forward.
Sure, I can. But before I answer the question, if that's okay, I just wanted to point out that even though today I'm talking directly to moms, those of you who are a mom, or a mom, or you may be an aunt, much of what I'm sharing today can apply to your life as well. So I just want to point that out. And plus, I wanted to say that, can we all agree that, once you're a mom, like, you're always a mom, like you're a mom, whether you're a mom with like young kids, grown kids, or, a grandma, like, you're always a mom, and we're never done with being a mom. And so I wanted to point out too that, everything I'm sharing with you today, it's really from my own experience, because, with my raising my kids from ages 6 to 29, it's like, in a business owner and all these things that I'm doing, I'm just sharing it from my experience, plus the experience from working with my clients. So Yeah. So the number one reason that I wanted to point out here is, again, like so many of us moms, like we are so present to the all that needs us, and we're mostly stuck in the putting out fire in our lives every
Mhm.
day, and everything feels urgent, and everything feels like, you're needed here, you're needed there, you're doing everything. And sometimes that can be so devastating and draining and exhausting. And especially, when you're chasing, because you're needed everywhere and you feel like you're
Right.
chasing time, you're chasing money, you're chasing people, and you sort of run out of your fuel, because we're just like a car, we need energy in our body. And when you're chasing all these things, then what's important to you doesn't get done. And then you just, spiral in it, and you can, feel so overwhelmed. That's like how we get burned out like the quickest.
Yeah. So, in that regard, so one of the first things we can do is to, make a list and do little small things.
Mhm.
How do you deal with, and I don't know if this is where you were going to go next or not, but it's present for me. How do you deal with the feeling of when I say no to, you know, a request showing up in the same exact way? Like I feel like I'm letting other people down. Right? How do you manage the emotions around that and the expectations?
Well, I think first off, like you have to be okay with saying no. Like there's a power in saying no. And I think more than anything, like we were never taught to say no. We, as a
Right?
little girl, like we were taught to say yes because we wanted to be liked and be wanted, be included and be good. And so when we say no, like we feel bad about it. And I
I
think
think people won't like us anymore.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes like even through working with my clients, like even though they think that they're okay with saying no, but they don't even know that in the back of their mind that they have it locked in there that they don't feel okay. So when they say no, they go on for days feeling guilty that they've said no.
Mm.
So one of the things that I highly suggest is, really check in with yourself. And when you say, before you say yes or say no to anything, always check in with yourself. Like, is this urgent? So
Hmm.
check with yourself. Just take 30 seconds, really just put your hand on your heart. If you just don't know, just put your hand on your heart and be like, hey, is this urgent? And if the answer is no, it's not urgent, that means it's no. And it can be scheduled for another day, and it's okay. And you don't have to go on feeling guilty about it because you already check in yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you don't have to keep piling up your list because you feel guilty saying no, because then you eventually don't exist in all of it, but other people.
Right. Your existence is only what you do for others and not managing all that. It's not being sourced directly from what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good one. So let's talk a little bit, and I think we're touching upon this, but how do we finally stop overdoing, over planning? Like what are some of the strategies around that we can use? Because all of that leads to more burnout as well.
Oh, yes. Yes. And like Les Brown said, I'm sorry, Seth Godin said that just by saying yes, because you can't bear the short-term pain of saying no, is not going to help you to do the work. So like when you say, if you just say yes and over plan and overdo, and because you can't say no on what we just touched on, our list will grow, and it keeps
Mhm.
growing and growing. And that can be really overwhelming. So what I would suggest there is that you just make a list. And yes, your list will be really long at first. But don't be afraid of it, because oftentimes like we think that it's the old fashioned of making lists, is outdated and we don't want to do it. But when we have everything in our head, then it seems really overwhelming and really hard to grasp.
Yeah.
But when you write it down, even though it's really long, you're going to see that when you tackle on one thing, it's going to solve another thing on there. And you will be amazed by how quickly your list can get smaller. Because when you do something, it's going to do another thing. That's first off, the first thing. And then secondly, you're going to see what are some of the things that you can delegate to other people and ask for help. So you're not the only person thinking in your head with this big thing that you have to do this and that for so many people. And then you sort of, disappear and burned out in it.
So great tip, great strategy. Make the list, because if you have that all in your head, right, it's going to, makes it feel so overwhelming and stressful, and I can't manage it all. And there's no sequence or priority to it. It's just like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do, so no wonder. So I love making a list. And then, the other piece of that is taking those, small steps, marking one thing off, and really jumping into it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely love it. So when you talked about delegating, do you have you have 8 children? So let's look at household, daily activities. Do you delegate to the children, and how do you get them involved? Because I would imagine that's one of the strategies of delegation, especially if you're running a home.
Oh, yes, I do. I do a lot of delegating here at my house. I think of it as when I'm running my business, I think of it as when I'm running a business, like my business. So I have family meetings and I have a list of responsibilities that I communicate to my kids, and then we talk about it in our family meeting. And so I have a list of the things that I need help with, like washing dishes, helping me sweep the floors or vacuum or clean the bathroom or things like that, simple things. And so the kids know their responsibilities, and I also, because we have the meeting, so when there's a change in schedule, normally it doesn't involve me. They know that they can communicate with each other. If one child has an activity on the day that they're supposed to be washing dishes or something, that they know that, okay, I'm going to communicate with this other child and have them do it, and they trade off their responsibilities. So that makes it really easy for me. So I don't always have to do it all.
This is huge. This is huge, especially because there's so many people in your family to orchestrate all the smooth running of a home. So, and I would recommend family meetings, whether it's 2 people, 3 people, people living in the same house together, communicating. How do we create communal living is what really we're talking about.
Yes.
And I know, as I was a single mom, and I did not do that. I just took the burden of everything and got everything done, and occasionally asked for help. But that led to my own burnout as well. So I wish I had implemented this strategy much sooner. So how often do you do the family meetings? Is it once a month, once a week?
The family meeting, our typical is once a month, but if something goes off, then I'll do it as needed, but we'll have it once a month.
Beautiful.
Just on how things going, and just also because, I have so many kids and they're all different ages. So I can't, have connection with each of them, and so the meeting really brings us together. And not only that, really updates everybody on what everyone's up to.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it's like a very intimate setting for all of us. And we all enjoyed it because we can come and really open about, what we're up to, what we're doing in the world, and what's happening in our life. So
beautiful.
It's a good thing for us.
It's so great strategy, and I highly recommend it for everyone to, start these family meetings. And if you're not living together, maybe you still do it on Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
I have Zooms. I mean, because my kids, because they're all different ages, and some of my kids, they don't live here. They live like 3 or 4 hours away. So we have Zoom meetings. Sometimes we will have, because they can't get on Zoom, so we will have iPhones and we'll have stands, and then we'll have it that way. But we pretend everyone's there. I mean, we're really there. It worked.
All right. So now we've got some good strategies to manage ourselves, our to-do list, our family life. Now you add owning a business. Like that's like a whole nother baby that you have. So what are some of the things we can do to, reduce and eliminate burnout as it relates to our businesses without having to run away?
Well, some of the things that we can do is I think we can simplify things. And one of the things that I found that helps me to really be balanced and sustainable in between my business and my life, my busy life, is really thinking of it as a one goal versus keeping it separate. Because what I found through my own experience and through my clients' experience and through my support with them is that when you keep them in two separate buckets, it's really hard because as a mom, like we are operating in a multifaceted life where whether we want to admit it or not, we have it all. And we're needed everywhere. And so many things in our life are running at the same time. And when we keep it separate, it's really hard to put it together. So what I do is every day, I do something for each of the things that matters most to me, where my business and my family, and then my kids. So it's like I'm dealing with 3 buckets running,
at all times.
At all times that I constantly pay attention to, but then I keep it where they connect so it can flow versus, doing something like 3 hours away or planning something that's completely off, that it's not in my schedule. So it's like I always have to look at my calendar and really make sure that my goals, that all my goals are in alignment for that month, for that day, and break it down, of course.
So what you just shared was huge, especially when all of those different demands and all the different desires that we have, to be intentional and structured around it ensures your sanity. That's what I heard.
Oh, yes.
Right? I'm just hoping I'm going to get to this, hoping, and that's going to work out. No, we got to create a plan for it.
Yes.
Is that one of the things that you do with people? Because, I may not know where to start. Like, okay, great, Ying, you got this all figured out, but you should see my mess. Like somebody's thinking that right now.
Yeah, that is exactly what I do with people who I work with. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about on my masterclass too. And
good segue. So go ahead.
Yeah, and because we have so many things happening, and I call it decluttering, because you can't not declutter something without seeing it. So when we look at our mess, then we can have structure. We can build structures and create structures around it to support us so that we can be in flow and make sure that we're in flow so that we're hitting the things that matters most to us. And again, we'll be amazed by how quickly other things fall away when you have structures and plans around what truly matters. Like things just fall away because those things that don't matter just disappear, and you're going to be okay with that. Yeah. Like right now, if you're thinking about it, you might be thinking, I'm not okay, but trust me, it's gonna, once you declutter, you'll realize, oh wow, I should have done that sooner.
Right, and I've been there, looking at the stack of papers on my desk or the millions of thoughts running in my mind. And I love this that you said, you cannot declutter something without actually seeing it.
Right.
Like that's good. So where's the clutter in your mind? in your business, on your desk with your family. Like, think of all the time also that you spend swirling around in the worry and confusion and overwhelm. Oh, that pile. Oh, I don't want to look at that. And just look at it.
Right.
Just
Look at it.
yeah, it's huge. That is
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, you can't change what you cannot see. So you have to look at it. Look at that mess file. Look at that mess family situation or however, or business or whatever it is. You have to look at it.
Beautiful. So we're coming up at the halfway point. So we're going to open for question and answer in just a moment or two. I know that, excuse me, that you've got a class coming up. And, you know, what I love about you is that you share so honestly your strategies for not just managing through life, but finding ways to enjoy your life again, even with, you know, 8 children, business, wife, mother, all of those pieces that you still serve. So let's be clear, you're still of service to others. We're not talking about not serving others. It's finding the way to serve yourself and others, so that you live in harmony. And I just love the way that you do that and your commitment to showing others the way. So let everybody know about your masterclass that you have coming up. I'll go ahead and put the link in the comments, but you can tell them about that masterclass. Then we're going to open up for some question and answer.
Okay, awesome. So I do have a masterclass coming up on August 25th, and that's at 1 p.m. Central Time. This is about 90 minutes. And this is how to reclaim your mind, body, and business. And this masterclass is free. And what we're going to be talking about here is we're going to look at exactly what Nancy and I just talked about there, where we get to look at your messes, where you can release the blocks within your mind, body, and business so you can confidently step forward into the life, career, and purpose that you deserve. And also where you can invest your time and energy and heart to strengthen relationships or retain your energy, your body to achieve more by doing less. And also find ways to like embrace the barriers that are keeping you stuck and burned out, or living in an unfulfilling life where you just don't feel good. And, you know, and stop the suffering and that you're feeling and the burned out, and, you know, and then really save yourself from that. So these are the kind of things that we'll be talking about in the masterclass on August 25th.
Yeah, it sounds like the opportunity to reclaim your life
Yes.
in a way that feels good and produces results, right? That's what we're talking about here, is a way that's good and produces results. So beautiful. So register. The class is on August 25th, which is Karina Felix's birthday. And the link you want to go to, it's a free class, the Mind, Body, and Business Masterclass. Go to bit.ly, the number 3, O, capital N, Y, 8KN. And that's a little bit challenging to do, so I'm going to see if I can rework that while we take some questions and stuff. So we're going to open up for Q&A right now. If you have questions or comments that you'd like to share with Ying, please go ahead and hit *6 on your phone, or unmute yourself and raise your hand if you're here with us on Facebook, on Zoom, Facebook. You can put your things in the comments. So let's go ahead and we'll get to that. And while we wait for people to come into queue on that, my friend, share with us, if you can, when I know this happened for me and it was not easy. When I made the decision that I needed to reclaim my life, and it felt like I was being selfish, and I learned that selfish is a good thing, right? How was it to start to talk with your family about things are going to be a little different? Like, how do you first bridge that conversation?
Again, I call on a family meeting, and I just be really honest to the whole family that I'm up to something, I'm doing something, or I think more than anything, just it's about being honest to yourself and being really honest to your children or your whole family, because without that, like they don't know how to support you when you are not honest.
And
And
let's remember, they want to.
yes, and they do. They really do. And children wanted to be included
Mm.
as a family, and they love to contribute to help their mom or their dad and the whole family because they want to feel valuable. And so just call a family meeting together and be like, okay, I've been really busy, or I've been really exhausted or tired or whatever you're going through, and I really need support. So I need help with this and this and this and this, or how whatever that you need help with. And just ask, okay, who can help me with these things that that I need support with.
I
And
love that.
I would say that more than likely, like everyone will want to participate. Like even my 6-year-old, he helps. Like he'll be like, "Mommy, I'll clean the toys or
I,
sweep the floor.
I,
I'll help you cook."
yeah, yeah. I notice it with my grandkids now. Like if I'm starting to pull weeds or I'm
Mhm.
bringing in the groceries, I want to help. Like they say, I want to help, and I
Yes.
am. So it's beautiful, and I think part of what may be underneath not asking for help is how it makes us, in the past, until, it made me feel weak or not good enough. Like I should be able to do all this stuff on my own. Like this, there's so much about learning to just receive and inside of all of this too, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think a lot of times like we want to be good and we want to be strong, and we
Mhm.
want to look like we're strong where we can handle it all, and so that we can measure up to other people's expectation, or even expectation in our head that
Right.
we're supposed to be a certain way, and then we don't ask for help, or we feel ashamed for asking for help, and we just don't do it. So
Let's
so
get rid of all that. Let's clear.
yeah. And so we just need to let all those go, that yes, people want to help us. They want to show up to help us, and they want us to be happy, to be good, and that they don't expect us to be perfect. Like our children doesn't look they're not looking for a perfect mom. They're just looking for a mom who can be present with them when they need us.
Beautiful. And let's keep in mind that feeling we have to want to help others have a better life, be happier, enjoy more, that feeling we have to want to give in that way is also present inside of the people we love.
Yes.
So let's give them that opportunity to experience the essence of giving. And we talked a
Right.
lot about this last week with our guest, Berg Smith Lyon, too. Beautiful.
Yeah. And like when you ask for help, you're actually doing yourself a service
Yeah,
to allow yourself to receive support from other people.
love it.
So
Right.
yeah, so it's really okay. It's okay
It,
to ask for help.
love it. I love it. All right, we've got a couple of people in queue, and I want to remind everyone to join for the masterclass that Ying is offering so that you can get even more strategies and specific tips. She'll have the opportunity to answer questions to support you in being and living that unshakable life, which who doesn't want that? Let's be unshakable. So go to bit.ly/Ying Lo, all lowercase, YNGLO, all together. So bit.ly/Ying Lo, and it'll take you to the registration page for the free class. So let's go to Mary Jane Charles. And again, if you have a question or comment, something you want to share this morning, we'd love to hear from you. And it's your opportunity to get some answers from Ying. So hit *6 on your phone or raise your hand if you're on the computer. And Mary Jane Charles, your line is open.
Good morning, both of you ladies. Thank you for doing this, Yang. I kind of aged out of the busy household, but having had one at one time, my sisters each had 6 and 5 children, and they readily employed them, so to speak. And one had a schedule on her refrigerator, and you had names and jobs and dates. Little boy down the block was an only child. He was always in Eileen's kitchen. Finally, she said, "Why do you come to my house so much?" She couldn't quiz him. He wasn't hers. He just wanted his name on the refrigerator.
Aw.
That's why I'm telling the story. It knocked me out when she said, "Oh my God." But caveat, you learn the personalities of your kids. One of her guys was trading off the jobs with this little Joey or whatever his name was. Joey's here. Hey, Joey, you want to do something? So, you learn your children and they acquire skills in the process, good, bad, or ugly. But it was pretty funny. This little goober was doing jobs much beyond his ability because the older kid was giving away the responsibilities. But anyway, the organization and the art of decluttering is fairly new nomenclature, if you will. But to peel off the jobs that maybe you don't want to do, but they have them do them. They take the responsibility and the skills with them all through life. And they don't know where they came from, but it's you before they have opinions, that you can instill these things. It's great to see. So thank you very much. I can use them in my business as well. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mary Jane. That is so true. Like even my children, I do have a list on my fridge too, and that really helps them to time manage as well as responsibilities. And yes, you're right. I learned so much from my kids from assigning responsibilities. So yeah, that is
Love that. So
thanks
thank
for
you so
sharing.
much, Mary Jane, and great story about the neighbor kid. That was awesome. Oh goodness. All right, let's go ahead. I got a couple more people in queue. Hit *6 or raise your hand if you're on your computer. If you're with us on Facebook and you have a question, you can put it in the comments, and I'll bring it to Ying for you. So let's go to Vanessa Donaldson. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much. I love this topic. Um, my family is military. So with dad that was leaving for 6 to 9 months at a time, I was like a young military spouse in my 20s going, whoa, well, how am I supposed to manage 2 kids in this? So I didn't realize I was, making these lists in my head and finding a way to figure it out, but so valuable when I could delegate and say, dad's gone now for like the next 9 months. I'm gonna need your help, kids. And they stepped right up, like who can help me with the dishes? Who can help me with the laundry? Those chores, so invaluable for military families. And then the declutter subject, right on point. I'm the van life girl. Like we left a 5-bedroom house and moved into a 24-foot van. So for 8 months living on the road, wow, what a way to declutter. What a way to have a sense of freedom, because it took me like 5 minutes or less to sweep out the living room of that van, and my kitchen stove was right there. And I roll into a bed at night. I mean, sometimes the bed smelled like curry at night. That's, there's some side effects to living in a van. But the decluttering part, it was amazing how less is more, and less is more in the great outdoors. So love the topics, love the subject matter. And I don't know, maybe Ying and I can collaborate on doing something with this with military spouses and the whole declutter thing, or helping with, children and manage them when dads are gone for almost a year with deployment. So thank you so much. I'm getting all kinds of ideas from you guys. I'm going to join your masterclass too on August 25th. So thanks for offering that for free.
Oh, hi, Vanessa. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, that is so true. Decluttering is best for anything, and it's like just keep it light and simple.
Awesome. Yeah, and collaboration is the key. And thank you, Vanessa, for all you're doing, for being with us today. And I definitely think there's opportunity for the two of you. As a matter of fact, Betsy Miller, who I know, Ying, you've done partnering on some items, she shared on Facebook that Ying is an incredible woman that can help you get organized and get rid of the mom guilt and take your life back, right? Like that's like, could do a whole masterclass just on that. How to release mom guilt and take your life back. Like that's good. Maybe you have already.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you, Betsy, for that.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, let me remind everyone, do the masterclass. You can get there by going to bit.ly/Ying Lo, which is YNGLO, all lowercase, one word. So bit.ly/Ying Lo. Register for the masterclass on August 25th. And, this is mind, body, and business, creating truly this synergy in bringing all the aspects of your life together. Because I do think that's one of the other struggles is, I got my business over here and my family over here, and I don't tell my family what's going on in my business. They don't even understand what I'm up to or the pressures that I might be experiencing. So how could they be compassionate or empathetic if I don't let them know what I needed the support, emotionally around too, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course. If you don't share it with them, they're not going to know. Like the thing that I tell my kids is, I'm not a mind reader, and neither are they. So it's like they cannot read your mind. So when you're not sharing, they won't know. So bringing the family together as a family, it's like you get to share what your challenges are, what support you need, and you can work together, and then you get to know what their challenges are, and then you can help them. So it's very in alignment.
Beautiful. Do you have like a structure or a flow template for these family meetings? Like, how do you even start it? Like, if somebody's listening in right now and they're not doing these family meetings, how do you even get your family to sit down?
Well, how I do it is, again, I think most of you here that I could see on the screen, it's like you're all business owners, or most of you are business owners. And even if you're not a business owner, you have meetings at work. You know how those things are structured. Just think of it as if you were to have a meeting. And also don't think of your kids as kids. Even though they're little kids, they are responsible little individuals. I think of them as a human being with respect, give them respect of who they are as an individual, and just talk to them and really treat them, and just really share, and just really be honest, be opening, like how I typically start. Let's say if I'm having a challenge about something and I want to bring my family together for a meeting, I would call everyone and tell them the time and date that I want them to be on there. And then I would start by saying, okay, I'm calling everyone here for this meeting today because I'm going through this challenge, and I'll tell them what it is, and I'll say, and I really need your support on
Wow.
And I'd like for you to, each of you to let me know, and I need support on these and these things, and I like to hear from you, like, who's available to help me. And then they would let me know, and if they can't do those things for me on those dates, then they were like, you know what, I can't do it on this date, but I can do it this date, this time for you. And then we can work together on that.
Beautiful. Wow, beautiful. And what an amazing way to bring your family together. And let me say, I'm using this term family in a broad sense. So whether it's just you and your spouse, whether it's you and your business partner, whether it's you and your children and or your grandchildren, whether or not you're living together, let's remember that our inner circles, we're together in this inner circle so that, no man is an island, no woman is an island, and we're not meant to be. So creating that structure and asking for help is huge. And it will do so much to, bring you all together in unity. Right? It's beautiful. Because by you doing that, you're also creating the space for the others in your family to do the same thing. You're letting them know it's okay. It's actually the way it's meant to be, as we do share what we're going through and get and give and receive support from one another. Like the messaging of what you're doing here goes way beyond simply just you getting the help you need. Let's face it, and you will.
Yeah, that is so true, and that's a great point, because then you, at the same time, are teaching your kids that they don't have to be perfect.
Right.
That when they are going through something, they can come to you and share openly. They don't have to hide anything. So nothing's a closed door or secret here, that they can come to you when they're having some challenges. And if it's something that's happening in the family that they don't like, it doesn't have to be something that they have to keep to themselves. They can come and say, okay, Mom, I'd like to have a meeting because so-and-so is doing this and I don't like it, but I want us to come and talk about it as a family.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you for giving us the tools and being such a model of, happy families in modern day times with all the extra demands, so we can be unshakable and completely lovable and enjoying our lives. I appreciate you so much, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we have one more, and we should have time for one more. So Karina Felix, you are up next.
Good morning, and thank you. That was quite an eye-opener. As you know, we're all mommies. I used to be called a helicopter mom, but now I'm called a drone mom. And I guess because I hover way too low, and I thought that by rearranging my life around the kids, so all my businesses was around being able to be available to these kids. And I'm literally sitting here going, I think it backfired in my face because I gave way too much, and I overprotected to the point where now I'm having, especially my daughter would say, well, I didn't know what was going on. You didn't share, and I don't know. And you should have let me know, because now she's feeling that I left her out, or that she did not understand why certain things were happening, because I tried to overprotect everything from finance to, relationship with, dad and mom and all of that. So that was kind of an eye opener. And obviously we would all love a redo, but now we can only pass on that information now. But an interesting thing happened is she hits 19, 20, and she also all of a sudden came into her own and became this. Now she knows how to say the word no without an explanation. And she explains my time, my space, and at first, because we're not used to that, we're used to always agreeing, and you got to keep mom and dad happy, you got to make everybody else happy, that she would just be like, no, it doesn't serve me. That's not part of my plan. And at first I'm thinking, how dare you? But then I thought, my goodness, I actually respect her, because she already learned this now. And we're doing this later in our life, where we're like, oh, I give myself away. Now I'm trying to find myself. But she already figured it out. And now I'm learning from her. She's my teacher now.
Awesome.
Right? So thank you for that eye opener. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, our kids are our teacher. They teach us so many things that we need to learn. I think as a mom, we have to learn to reparent ourselves.
Exactly.
So we can show up better as a mom. And our kids are our greatest teacher, because they are in our lives to teach us something. So
absolutely.
Well, I always say, our soul chose our parents to come into this world. We chose them for the lessons we have to learn. So I thought, if my kids chose me, then what's not only the lesson for them, what's the lesson for me? So they're like a second lesson of, and then what I see is whatever I didn't solve with the parents, I'm now dealing with them and going, oh, I never resolved that issue in my life. So it's another level of healing. So yes.
Beautiful. Beautifully said, Karina.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was great. I'm so glad I listened in on this morning.
Yeah, we're glad too. Beautiful. All right, everyone. We're coming up to the top of the show. I want to remind you all, go ahead and register. Join Ying for her masterclass on August 25th And you can register at bit.ly/Ying Lo, YNGLO, all one word, lowercase. And give yourself this gift. And let me also say, you're listening in today and you know a mom. You may be an aunt, you know aunts, uncles, and somebody mentioned this in the chat. Share this with the people you know and love in your life, because the more of us who are in this space of open communication, sharing our goals, our dreams, and allowing others to help us and asking them, this is the new world we're co-creating, my friends. And we need people like Ying to lead us as examples and give us those strategies. So share that link, bit.ly/Ying Lo. Share it with as many people as you can so that we can all be liberated from the shackles that prevent us from becoming and being unshakable. There we go. Ying, I love you and I honor you, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been so great, and so great to hear from everyone today too. So thank you so much.
You are very welcome. All right, everyone, get out there, make it a wow day. Register for the class with Ying, and we'll be back next week with another Wow Wednesday. Bye, everyone. Bye, Ying.
Bye. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.